Hey Misfit Crew, Eric for President here. Happy Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about the Quest. Was going down the comments from the past week of videos. Thank you for staying tuned for my new semi-daily videos here. And a lot of questions came up on the Oculus Quest on which should we purchase, the 64 gigabyte or should we go with the 128 gigabyte? And I had previously stated in a lot of the comments, because thank you for all the comments and responding to them, that I thought the 64 gigabyte would be enough for 99% of people. While that still may be very well true, I'm second guessing myself based off a Reddit post that I want to get into. Remember, if you do like this content, by the way, hit that subscribe button, please, and make sure to leave a like. It helps me greatly. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well. But anyway, I did see this Reddit post from HR Het 101. Thank you very much for doing the legwork for me on this one and for everyone else. Talking about some of these sizes of games right now that are on the go, Rift, Vive, PSVR, etc. To give a relative idea of what they may be on the Quest and how storage might be affected, which may have changed my opinion on which version I'll be getting. And I do have a thought as well on, I previously thought the $100 was too much for the 128 gigabyte one. I have a comment on that as well, so stay tuned. But he goes down a list here of some of the more popular releases out there and what they are. You have Superhot VR at 3.5 gigs, Beat Saber 300 megabytes, Moss 6.5, Robo Recall 3 gigabytes, Fruit Ninja 240 megabytes, Angry Birds VR 270 megabytes. Now Dead and Buried 2, 8 gigabytes. So that's pretty high, and I think that's gonna be one of the more popular games as well. You got Rec Room at 500 megabytes, and The Climb, which there's a lot of talk about that game at 10 gigabytes. You see here, in his opinion, 64 gigabytes is more than enough. VR games are usually relatively small. However, if I have the money by the time the Quest comes out, I believe I will buy the 120 gigabytes so that I can also store video and other content. And then he's updating this continuously. So originally my other videos I kind of talked about, I thought the 64 gigabyte would be more than enough space. You know, that's a lot of games and a lot of content. And that is still true. Nothing's changed my mind about that. 64 gigabytes I think will suffice for a lot of people. However, keep in mind that when you see 64 gigabytes is not what you're getting on the system. OS, other things are going to be taking up space right from the start. Probably 7-8 gigs. So let's say between 50 and 52 gigs is what you're gonna get space-wise to use. Well, these are just the games we know about now and how they're optimized. Now, they could likely be smaller when the Quest comes out. These file sizes are based on what is available right now. They could be very well smaller, but they could very well be the same or higher as well, depending on how they compress them. And when I think about it, the more I think about it, 64 gigabytes takes up space really, you can take up space really quickly, because we're just talking about games, but you can be putting movies on it. You can be putting other content on it. There's more than just games in VR, and I talk about that a lot. There's more than just the games. There's applications, there's movies, there's other stuff. The P word, there's other things people are gonna be putting on this VR equipment. You could be filling up 64 gigabytes really quick. And when you think about it, and this is something I didn't think about beforehand, saved games. A lot of people were talking about how they were gonna be, storing the games to the computer, and then as they want to transfer them over, sideload them back on, sideload them back off. And while that works, I did see a comment down here that I just went right over my head. So I'm gonna give some credit as well to Seth Says as well. One major issue is with just switching the games out to save space. If this works anything like the Go, and since it's built on the same core, I'd be surprised if it didn't, deleting a game will also delete your saved data. This is a core aspect of Android that they haven't bothered to work around just yet on the Go, and I feel like unless and until they find a solution for the Quest, there are going to be a lot of surprised and annoyed people with the 64 gigabyte version. I didn't think about that. So if you're going to be loading and unloading games off and on, there's a high likelihood, unless their data is saved locally, which is very unlikely in most games, that you're going to lose your save data for games. So to some people, that's no problem. A lot of these VR games are experiences anyway that you won't need the save data for, but it's not going to work as easy. It isn't going to work that easy. And Oculus Quest is going out with 50 games at launch. That's a lot of games. So if you just want to start playing all these different games that you also may have already bought in, these games that are cross-play available that you can automatically have for the Quest, 64 gigabytes is going to fill up real quick. So keep this in mind. You may lose save data if you're planning on just offloading and unloading games. That could affect your mentality on which gigabyte version you want. On top of this, and I meant to bring this up earlier on my other videos, but like I said, I had kind of an epiphany on this. The $100 price tag between the 64 and the 128. Do I think it was too much? Yeah, it is. But I understand where they're coming from. That $400 kind of supplements the, $499 version kind of supplements the price of the $399. a lot of times these developers have these tier models that go up, and while the price goes up and you may think that the value in that price isn't worth it, there are people that are going to buy that higher price point, and that helps supplement the cheapest version for the masses. So, you know, if 128 gigabytes, the $499 price tag is something you can afford, I'd probably advise at this point to get it. Not only are you going to have more space that you may need for games, but you're also supplementing the price for the other people who can only afford the $399 version, so you're actually doing a service to them in a way, and basically help that price point out down low, and that's why the price is so high for your version. So, quick video today. I think the 64 gigabytes still, for the average person, is going to be plenty, but if you can afford the 128 gigabyte version, I think at this point I would suggest that over the 64. Not only are you going to have more room for the games, movies, other accessories on it, you'll be able to have more likelihood of keeping your save files on it, and you're kind of helping supplement the price point of the $399 to make it worthwhile for everybody else. So, we are a community here. Remember that. If you like this content, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much on this one, but again, 120 gigabyte, I think it's the way to go. I'm Eric for President. I will see you on the next video, most likely Monday. Have a fun one for you then. Have a good weekend, everybody. Goodbye.